Kennedy and Khrushchev tried to rein in the spiraling arms race following the Cuban Missile Crisis. Neither side was prepared to eliminate nuclear weapons, but during the 1960s, accords were reached on how to manage them. The first agreement was signed in 1963, the Limited Test Ban Treaty, which prohibited atmospheric testing of nuclear weapons. It was a small step, but laid the groundwork for a more productive relationship between the two leaders. It was not to be. 1 month after the Test Ban Treaty was signed in Moscow, John F. Kennedy was assassinated in Dallas, Texas. The official government investigation concluded that a lone gunman was responsible. Lee Harvey Oswald, an American communist with ties to the Soviet Union and Cuba. Was Oswald part of a conspiracy to assassinate the president? If he was, he took the secret to his grave. 2 days after the assassination, Oswald himself was gunned down. Just 4 months later, Khrushchev was deposed as head of the Soviet Union. The charges? He had allowed his own cult of personality to develop and no longer listened to advisors. He had ruined Soviet agriculture, brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, and allowed the Berlin Wall to be constructed, a monument to the failures of communism. In short, Khrushchev's accusers said, he had humiliated the Soviet Union. Still, no blood was shed in this Russian Revolution. Khrushchev saw that as true progress.
Could anyone have dreamed of telling Stalin that he didn't suit us anymore and suggesting he retire? Not even a wet spot would have remained where we had been standing. Now, everything is different. The fear is gone. That's my contribution.
The end of the Kennedy-Khrushchev era ushered in a period of unprecedented social upheaval. Both the United States and the Soviet Union were challenged by those within their own societies. America witnessed the struggle for civil rights and racial equality, political assassinations, and the youth counterculture of the 1960s. The Vietnam War divided American society. A growing credibility gap highlighted the contradictions between the statements of political leaders and the facts on the ground. By 1968, it seemed like the nation had come unraveled. That same year, the Soviet Union, now under Leonid Brezhnev, struggled to reassert its influence after the modest tolerance of the Khrushchev years. In Czechoslovakia, a communist reformer named Alexander Dubček sought to put a new face on socialism through his Prague Spring political reforms, only to see his dreams snuffed out by Soviet-led forces of the Warsaw Pact. In justifying the attack, Brezhnev outlined the so-called Brezhnev Doctrine, in which he claimed the right to violate the sovereignty of any country that turned away from communism. The Soviets had Czechoslovakia, the United States had Vietnam, and both countries had nuclear missiles pointed at the other. The world had grown weary of the Cold War, and pressure was building for change.